What if I...
Ba-ba-da-ba-da. We're doing our best. I'm doing my best. We're doing our best.
I'm doing my best. I like I'm, unless we want to do we're.
No, I'm.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
We're one and the same.
We're one and the same. Guys, hi.
Hello.
It's me, Anna Lynn Thomas.
Amber Knowles.
Amber Knowles. You know me from writing funny stories, writing a couple books.
And you don't know me.
You don't know Amber.
You're about to.
We're about to. She's my sidekick, okay? I've known Amber since my early 20s. Popped back into my life after the drop of she's also in book 1.
Well,
faintly.
Not really. Not worth mentioning.
No, yeah. So, we met Amber a while ago.
Who's we?
That's a good question.
Is there somebody else sitting next to you?
Me and those listening right now. Yeah, this is, first of all, let's introduce the podcast. I reserve the right to change my mind at any time. But as of right now, we're calling it I'm Doing My Best, the podcast you listen to while folding laundry. Amber and I have talked about this. We want this to be the podcast that you listen to when you are doing the mundane crap that you don't want to be doing.
The gross stuff.
The base of your toilet, the baseboards.
Cooking dinner. I hate cooking dinner.
I like cooking dinner. I don't know if I listen to something while cooking dinner, I could mess it up. I like to concentrate. But
laundry. Which is why.
Cleaning. I love to listen while cleaning.
Mm-hmm. Painting.
Amber likes to paint. She likes to take her whole house down.
I like to take my whole house
Paint
down
stuff.
and paint walls, and it's my canvas.
Yeah. And so we are wanting to be the podcast that motivates you through walks on a treadmill, okay? Make you laugh, inspire you a little bit, and we're going to girl talk. We're going to girl talk because there's a lot of stuff that we got to girl talk about. In fact, I just got a massage from my friend Kim, okay, because I've got neck and shoulder issues that create migraines. She's working me out. And she said that she has this thing where her and her wife will say, when they're like venting to each other, they will say garbage or toolbox, meaning, are you venting and are we putting this into the garbage after you vent? Or is this something we need to like put our heads together and fix? And also, what's my point? What was I talking about?
I don't know. I got
distracted by your face.
I was making awkward faces because I'm drinking coffee and I had to burp, but I didn't want to, I'm trying to get away from the microphone, but then also being recorded.
Completely lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
We want to be the garbage for you.
Yeah, we want to unload it, take it out.
We want to take out the
trash.
So that we can, but sometimes we might get out the toolbox.
Are we going to call this Take Out the Trash?
Oh my God, we're changing the title of the podcast right now.
Is that what's happening?
Take out the trash. A couple of other things. Amber and I both have really loud laughs. Amber's is next level. It's gotten us kicked out of restaurants and bars. But we have to try to not blast everybody's speakers.
Yeah, sorry.
Be really me too. Me too. So, yeah, just a recap of who Amber is. Amber and I met in my early 20s. I used to live with a mutual friend of ours named Brady. Still, we're all very close to this day. And Tyler. We all lived together. So I lived with two guys, and we used to throw these great parties at our apartment. And one time, we threw a Mardi Gras party. It was off the chain. We we made like a cauldron beverage. Hurricanes, and the fruit would knock you on your butt because it was intense. Party got wild. We got busted by the cops. Okay,
too loud, noise
way
complaint.
Too loud. The Brady is yelling for everybody to get out because they threatened like a terrible fine. So Brady's like, everybody get out, everybody get out, everybody get out. And I'm just sitting there because I live there, okay? And he's like, you too, Anna. And I was like, what? I live here. But I got panicked. It was like the fear, like I got whipped up in the frenzy and the chaos.
He also has a presence that if he's telling you to do something, you just kind of do it.
Mm-hmm. He does. I don't think I've ever disobeyed Brady, to be honest with you.
No.
Have you ever disobeyed
Well,
him?
I've tried once
You've
and it
tried.
didn't go well. Didn't go well.
I piped in with him.
Got me right in that car.
God. I was in the passenger seat yelling. I was in her early
It was,
20s.
you know,
Amber
we're
was
just-
Amber was
listen.
going to walk herself home. We're like, get in the car, Amber. You're going to get raped and killed out here.
I know it. Just crazy.
Pain in the butt you were. Yeah, that was the scary part, is that you weren't responding to Brady's firmness. And we're like, wow, she's far gone. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, we throw this party. Brady kicks me out. I go, now that I'm caught up in the chaos and fear, which is weird because I'm over the age of 21. I'm not at all afraid. I go into, I just run out. Well, I am afraid now. I completely run out into the mailbox alcove of our apartment. I'm hiding. Why? I have no idea. Again, I'm of age. I live there. Okay? I'm hiding in the mailbox alcove, and I have I'm scared to death. I'm like, like the cop's going to like come get me out of there and drag me out and throw me in jail. I don't know what I was afraid of. This other guy comes in with me. We're hiding together, okay? We're both nervous. We're both crouching down. We're watching the cops and people funnel out of my apartment. And he's like, what's going on? I'm like, dude, my party just got busted. What are you talking about? Now, I assume the guy's in the party with me.
Yeah.
And, you know, I didn't know everybody who was there. And he's like, oh, I wasn't at the party. I just live here. Okay, guys.
Why is he hiding? Why is he? Well, he wants to know what's going on.
The frenzy of the moment had us all whipped up. This is how, you know, when you're like, how does a stampede happen? I'm telling you, I know now. I get whipped up in a frenzy in a heartbeat. I remember when I was in high school, Amber, a food fight was brewing.
At your school?
Yes.
I don't know that we ever had a food fight.
Yeah. Some food started to like, there were 3 my year, to the point where they said the next one that you're involved in, you don't get to graduate.
What?
Because, yeah, we had 3. So this is the first one.
What are people throwing?
Their food.
But like, give me an example. Like, are these potatoes? Oh my God! You guys got milkshakes.
One
at
time,
school?
I was friends with the cheerleaders, and it was like Friday, so they were wearing their cheerleader gear, and it was French toast sticks with maple syrup,
Oh.
and they were crying. How am I gonna get this maple syrup out of my? It was hilarious. Okay, I remember like the energy of the food fight brewing, and it just started with like 2 people kind of throwing their fries at each other, but it was an energy, like a storm is coming, right? Like, you know, your joints start to get achy when a storm is coming. It was that kind of sense. And then it just happened. And it was like a hurricane of food being thrown. And I got whipped up in it. I threw my whole plate at some girl's face,
yeah.
and I ran. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to throw my plate in her face, but I got whipped up. You know?
It is exciting.
Don't put me in the middle of a riot. I don't know what I'll do.
You're going to burn it down.
I'm going to burn it down. I'm going to bust out glass. I'm going to steal an old lady's walker and beat somebody with it. I can't be trusted. I get whipped up in the energy.
Yes.
So I am hiding, and I'm looking at the cops, and I'm nervous, and I see Amber stroll up. I don't know who she is, and she's got bags of alcohol, okay? And I see her talking with the police officer. And then she's talking to him and talking to him. Like, what is she doing? Who is she? What is this? And then I see Amber leave the police officer and hide behind some bushes.
Well, I don't remember a lot, but they told me I couldn't go up.
Yeah.
And, you know, I ended up hiding. Because I was going back up.
Sorry, I took a drink of coffee. You've got to tell us more. You go up to the cop, and you have bags of booze. Now, Amber was at the party before, and I don't remember it. She's at the party before. We run out of Hurricane, so you offer to go. We had a DD there, which was Brady's brother. He offered to drive you to go get more.
Yes, I went to the Walmart.
Yeah.
To go get more stuff to make these hurricanes. And I don't recall, but what I've been told is that I was asking the police how much, that he told me I couldn't go up there.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'm staying here. And he's like, well, I'm sorry, party's busted. And I was like, well, what happens if I go up there? And he told me there was going to be a fine. I would get a ticket. And I am not one to go against the grain.
Yeah, you're not trying to get arrested.
I'm not trying
You're
to
a
get
good girl.
arrested. I'm a good girl. But I asked him how much the fine would be, as though I might try to pay him so I could still go. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But
so then he just tells her, don't even think about it. It's more than you can afford or something. And so she goes and hides behind the bushes. So now I'm watching Amber hide behind the bushes. I don't know who she is. And she's hiding there. Eventually the cops leave. And then I see Amber go back into the apartment complex. Okay. So now I'm feeling like it's safe for me to go back in. I think Brady texts me. He's like, we're in the clear. And I'm like, oh, thank God. While I'm hiding in the mailbox alcove. Ridiculous. I go back up and there's Amber. And I go, oh, hey, you're the girl with the bags of booze. That was the first time we met. Bags of booze became Bagaboos. And that became her nickname for like a decade, right? It was either booze, bag. We used to call you bag. Where's bag?
Where's bag?
And it stuck. We talked about this. I'm really good at nicknames.
It stuck so hard that as we grew, our friendship grew, our friend group grew. Anna had moved on to Chico, California. And so she's gone, and I'm having lunch, I think, with some friends. And Jill, one of the gals, legit had known me at this point for probably 5 or 6 years. And honest to God, thought my last name was Bagaboos. Just one long, and I died.
Yeah.
I died.
I did. I have a really good knack for giving people a nickname and it sticks. And it's usually people I don't even know very well. I remember like in high school, I was on the varsity team captain. And I remember my coach was like, I really want you to cheer on the JV girls and encourage them. And it would mean a lot if you stuck around and blah, blah, blah. So I remember there was this one girl, I think her name was Bianca, but I didn't know the name of the other girl. And so another varsity was like, well, what's that other girl's name? And just to be funny, I said her name is Consuelo. Okay, she doesn't even look like Consuelo. Okay, just, I don't know, some blonde girl.
It just came out.
Yeah, because I wanted to tease the other girl. So she's like, good job, Consuelo. Good job. You can do it, Consuelo. And no so nobody's even looking. I mean, she's not even looking.
No.
Right? So then I keep the joke going. So I'm like, let's go Bianca. What? Let's go Consuelo. What? And I get all like the varsity girls singing this chant to encourage them. And they keep looking over like, who's Consuelo? Like, what is this? Okay. And I'm actually playing a joke on the varsity girls who are cheering with me, not her.
Yeah.
Consuelo sticks. She gets it on the back of her sport shirt. Okay. I move on. I think she was probably 2 or 3 years younger than me. I'm in college at the time. I'm about to graduate. And I see Consuelo. I don't even actually know what her name is. She's wearing a University of Nebraska sweatshirt. And on the back, it says Consuelo. She
loved it.
My irreverent insult prank on my friend.
Yeah.
As her nickname forever. So, listen, it sticks. And here's the deal about nicknames. We talked about this. Do you remember when Brady?
Yeah, you can't ask for one.
No.
Because if you ask for one, it has to just come naturally. And he was so upset. I remember in the elevator of the Hardy building going up there, and he's like, you give Amber a nickname and you didn't even know her. We've been living together for years. And I need a nickname. And Anna just looked at him in the face and said, no. You can't ask for one.
If you ask for a nickname, you automatically don't get one. It's like when your kids, I don't know. It's like the fact that you even asked me means that it's no forever.
Yeah.
I can't believe you have the audacity. I was like, you can't ask for a nickname. That defeats the purpose of the nickname. So then he tried to throw out some ideas. He was like, I don't know, how about B-Dub? I was like, I ain't calling you nothing but Brady. Okay? How dare you insult us trying to get it? Rude. So that is how we met. And we would keep up once a year with Brady. We would try to have friend lunches. And then there was during one friend lunch, if you guys have read my best-selling book, okay, I just got to plug it. We'll laugh about this someday. I talk about the being unfollowed and what it feels like to be unfollowed and unfriended. Okay. And I recall one of the lunches when Amber and I are talking about a mutual friend from college. And we are talking about her getting married. And he's like, what? I didn't know she was getting married. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And we're like, well, she's all over Facebook. And he's like, well, I've been friends with her on Facebook. I didn't see anything. I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you. Pulls up his phone and he looks. Do you remember the disposition on his face?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's the same. It's the same look I have on my face when there was a gal from church that did it to me. I didn't even know. I went to try to mess it. I was like, wait, hold on. You unfriended me.
Unfriended. Yeah.
We're women in faith, okay? Don't unfriend me.
Yeah, that you're working together to throw kids' events. This woman from Amber's church who Amber works with to put on children's events.
And I had no idea.
And
Amber. She has also never given me any indication that we're not. So I'm going to use Brady's excuse that we gave him about this mutual friend was that maybe it was a Facebook mistake.
Yeah, that's what you always when your friend is devastated that someone has unfollowed them or unfriended them, you're always like, it was a Facebook glitch.
Yeah.
Oh, Facebook glitches all the time. It's terrible to get unfriended. That's what my whole chapter is about. Like that horrible pit rolling thing in your tummy when someone that you don't even like that much unfriends you.
Right.
I had a cousin.
I think that
I didn't even like that
stings
much.
The most is when like you could even really care less.
Yeah. I had a cousin that was friends with me and my sister. She unfriended me, but kept the friendship with my sister. I was like, oh, hell no. I couldn't. I called my mom. I was like, Mom, she unfriended me. And she's still friends with Jenny. She's like, oh, I hate this social media crap. You know, my mom was like not having it. I'm telling you, it is just devastating. So Brady was crestfallen, and I include this part into the book. And so I have to let everybody know who's in the book. I have to notify them that they're in the book. And I either ask if I can use their name, or sometimes I don't care. I'm going to use your name. But I'm usually quite polite, and if you want me to change your name, you can. But it's something that my publisher makes me do. So I reach out to them. I'm like, you guys are going to be in the book, Brady. I'm going to tell the story about how you were unfollowed and you were totally ashamed and embarrassed. Are you okay? They're like, yeah. Little did I know, Amber thought. You thought it was like the chapter was going to be called Amber.
May as well have been. I got a text from Anna, and it said, can I use your full name? And I think it was so specific that it said full name that I was like, yes, I've made it.
Yeah.
Look at me now, high school people, dropping out of high school with a baby. Where are you? Okay.
Look at me now,
Look
suckers.
at me now, suckers. And so, and I left it at that. I just said, yes, of course. I'm excited, and I didn't even question it. And, you know, the closer it came time for the book to come out, there was more, you know, obviously publicity about it and getting excited. And so I'm sharing all of these things. I even was in the library. I told a stranger about it. Now, that's not completely unusual because I talk to strangers all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just talk to anybody. But I was just excited. I'm telling my friends, I'm like, guys, remember that book I told you I was going to be in? Here it is. I get all my friends to pre-order the book. And because there was a mix-up with Amazon's, some of the pre-order, there was something.
They made some huge mistake and like sent out the first wave really early, like a month early before the launch date.
Yeah. And so I get a phone call from a really close friend of mine, and she was like, hey, have you read Anna's book yet? And I was like, no, doesn't even come out yet. And she's like, oh. And I was like, wait, did you read it? She's like, yeah, I got it. And I was like, well, first of all, how? She's I'm ready. I'm pulling out my phone, like ready to text Anna, like how in the world is this girl getting a book before me and I'm in it?
Yeah.
And I said, no. She goes, oh, okay. I was like, well, I was like, and she go, or no, she just said, just be prepared. And I was like, what? And she's like, I just don't want you to be disappointed. disappointed about what?
Yeah.
She doesn't give me really anything to work with.
Cruel.
And I don't even say anything. I did text Anna about her getting her book early, and she's, explained the mistake or whatever. And so I get the book. It's the launch party day, the day the book comes out, shows up on my front porch. I rip it open to look inside. Because if you asked me, it may have well been, we'll laugh about this someday with Amber Knowles.
Yeah,
okay.
right.
That's like how I felt. Like somebody, I'm going to be in a book. I've made it. Oprah's going to call me. Yeah. I'm going to tell her all the crap that me and Anna did when in our 20s. Yep. She's going to be in TMZ, and I'm going to be cashing checks. Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's getting on those coattails.
You're like, what are my royalties?
Yeah.
How does this break down exactly?
Yeah. How is this gonna work?
Yeah.
And then I opened the book and literally, God dang it. Again, I should have had it here, but there's this is when my first name only is written, and it says, and then Amber and I laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. And that was it. That was it. I was like, okay.
That portion got cut.
That portion got cut. And then,
But I have to admit that portion wasn't that robust to begin with. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, it's sad. And so then I am pissed, right? Like this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you're excited and you got news crews interviewing you. We roll up and I'm like, what in the... I'm giving her dirty looks.
At my launch party, I was getting interviewed, and at the corner of my eye, I see Amber come in like, wow.
I'm coming in hot.
Coming in real hot. You're like, wow.
However, in the back of the book, Anna writes, and to my dearest friends, I don't remember the other gal.
Amber and Brady,
thank you for letting me share our stories. And I was like, what story
did you share?
About me
in this book?
Her mom even told her. She was
even
like,
my mom was like, wow, Amber really got quite the mention there in the acknowledgement.
I know. I'm like, not even, because she's well, is she even in the book?
I think it was a guilt acknowledgement, honestly.
I asked her. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, you know what? It's fine. I just better be in the second one. And her sister laughs so loud, and she was like, oh, she already submitted it. It's done, and you ain't in it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, well, all right.
You are going to be in the third one, though. You're actually all over it, because Amber has one thing about Amber that is so precious, and what everybody loves about her so much is that jealousy is not a part of your repertoire, like, at all. You want everybody to win, everybody to succeed. And you really came alongside me, and you were like, you came to my book signings, and you stood next to me, and you sold me out of so many book signings.
When we had nothing next to that golf guy.
God. Okay, so I got asked to do this one book. I already had a book signing there, and he asked me to come back and to do this local author thing where there was going to be two other authors and then me. One of them was called Nebraska Golf Courses. That was his book. Okay. Number one, I don't think Nebraska's known for its golf courses. Straight up, we ain't known for much, and I can tell you golf course even on the list.
Yeah, it's not even anything
Then
I've
the
heard
other
of.
chick was fantastic. I really liked her personality. She had written a book about some local veteran who had a great story. I don't know. And I'm sitting there, and there is a line wrapped around the building. And
for the golf guy.
For the golf guy.
And also...
and he didn't have a personality either.
That's what I was going to say. No personality. Even when we were setting up, like, we're kind of joking and talking, trying to, get... And he's just not even having it. No. He doesn't want nothing...
He wants nothing to do with these loud girls. Mm-mm. Okay? He has no respect for me in my book.
None.
Then so the line is wrapped around. Here's what really hurt. I didn't have one person come to my table yet, and the manager went to his table to open up a whole other box of books for him.
Yeah.
That's how bad. So Amber was like, She went into mode.
Not on my watch.
She went around that building, and I sold out of books. People were...
I was stealing them out of his line. I was like, what are you buying a book for yourself? Get over here and get your wife one.
Yes.
The guy was like, and they would. I mean, of course. I mean, how can you not, right?
Well, yeah. And one woman bought 8 books.
Checked out and then came back and bought more.
Bought more because once she heard from other people that it was such a hilarious book.
Well, and when she started talking to us.
Exactly.
That's the thing about...
And I remember the manager came up and she goes, every author needs an Amber. So I take Amber wherever I go. She's gone to all of my speaking gigs. She helps me sell books. There were a couple times where Amber's so chatty that I had this.
I'm not even, you know what? This is what she'll have me go. And I'm supposed to, and then I was like, yeah, I'll help you check out. That way you can talk and sign. I am visiting with people and Anna's over there sweating, trying to open boxes, get them signed. She's, I'm not a good employee.
There was one time.
I'm not.
I had to swipe this. He wanted 3 books, and I went to swipe his card, and it wasn't working because I didn't know how Amber was the one who was working it, and I was sweating my pits so bad. And even if the charge isn't going through, nobody likes to see their card get swiped 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay. And on a device that's not even that legit.
Yeah, just like a square plugged into your phone.
Into my iPhone. He's like, I swear to God, she's just downloaded all of my data.
Yeah.
Okay. Amber is chatting away. Now, to your credit, from what you were talking to that girl about my talk. That was the first time you'd heard the talk. It was apparently about me. But all of a sudden, I'm looking at Amber. Okay, I've got a line to sign. I'm spitting out sweating because I'm trying to check out and sign and talk to people. And finally, Amber's like, laughing.
I look over. I catch eye contact. I was like, oh, shoot.
Yeah. Big cuss words.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm so sorry. I've got to go. She's like, oh, my God. What do I do now? So then you help me there. So we do have to be careful on that respect. But I've brought her to my church talks. I have her open for me. And we have so much fun. Most of the time, people like Amber more than me. That's fine. Girl, as long as my books are selling.
It don't matter.
It don't matter to me.
I think we're just better together.
We're better together.
And
everybody loves Amber. Is Amber coming? I've had some repeat talks, and they're like, "Is Amber coming?"
And we're going to be somewhere here next week already.
I'm going to be at the Dyersville Chamber of Commerce is having a women's night, and they have asked me to come be the entertainment. Amber and I are going to drive on down there. If you are in the Dyersville area, the tickets are pretty cheap. You got to go to dyersville.org, I think. To get your tickets. Catered food is going to be delicious. So try to make yourself down there. Come meet me. I'm going to be signing and giving some books away and then signing and selling books there too and performing. We're going to have an absolute blast. I'm going to read my funniest essays and we're just going to have a total blast. So Amber and I, we're going to be doing that. That's April 12th, which is a Wednesday. So if you are in the Dyersville area of Dyersville, Iowa, it's kind of close to Chicago, make yourself a little trip.
Yeah. Or even if you're not and you just want to hop on a plane, get out of there, come check us out.
Yeah, it'll be really weird that you're at that local that local event like that where they have a local woman of the year. But I feel like I'm worth it, and so are you for somebody.
In so many ways.
So many ways. So many ways. So that's why, and then we just decided, I used to do my podcast. It's not that serious. Before then, it was like the Anna and Susanna show where I was with Susanna Lewis. And then she blew up out of the atmosphere and then got too busy. And so I continued the podcast by myself. Sometimes I would have guests on. I cannot tell you how hard a podcast is to do by yourself. I mean, talk about
boring. I would think. Just talking to myself.
I'm bored by myself. People told me they loved it, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I didn't mean that the podcast was boring, but as someone just you're bored.
And then it's like, you're bored, you ramble. I felt like I was rambling on and on and on. I don't have nobody to push back. Okay.
Yeah, you're like, are you guys, is this funny?
Yeah.
Are you laughing?
Are you guys liking this? I hope so. I've got some more for you. Okay. And so, but Amber was like, then I had to do these live videos for a book promotion. I had Amber come on, and you got a taste of it. I came alive.
I came alive. It was even like when I had to introduce Anna for the first time on stage at a women's night out at my church, and they asked me if I wanted to introduce her. And inside, I was saying no. I'm not getting on that stage in front of all those people, but how can I, right? Mm-hmm. Especially at my own church. And they handed me the mic, and Anna was trying to wrap me up. She's like, I'm actually the entertainment.
When a comedian is on stage, and they kind of like play with the mic cord. Like they kind of move the mic cord back behind them while they walk back and forth, working the audience. That was Amber. I was like,
I did. I can't. I was like, I don't, because I remember taking like speech class in college, and I flipping hated it. Like I would get nervous. I hated it. My voice was shaky. I don't know if it's just with age that, like, because why are you nervous about something? Because you're worried about what other people think. I don't know if I've just hit that point in my life that I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the Holy Spirit working through me, but I came alive, and I was like, I was made for the stage.
You know what, though? Let me tell you something. That is how because you went to college, you had a child young, you got married, and then you were a stay-at-home mom. You thrived as a stay-at-home mom. But I don't think, well. You had some ups and downs.
We had some ups and downs.
Okay. By the way, I always want to say a shout out to Scott for paying off Amber's debt, because I'm pretty sure, because Amber's extremely generous financially, even when she doesn't even have any, and she's putting it on a credit card.
I know.
And in our 20s, man, our meals were on there.
I was like,
so
we're gonna
much
get
pizza. So our trips, paying for gas. And then when you married Scott, he just paid it off for you. And I was like, Scott, I want to thank you so much, because there's so much after out munch like 1 a.m. munchies on there.
We're getting some Ramos pizza, jalapeno cream cheese.
God bless you for paying that off.
Yeah, sweet man.
Yeah, but that, when you do something and it just feels so good, that is telling you something.
Yeah.
Those are the breadcrumbs that really lead you to where you kind of need to follow.
Yeah.
Like, where is this going? What am I doing? I had those breadcrumbs when I was a little girl, the first time I wrote a short story, and my teacher loved it. And I was like, that's it. Best-selling author right here. Okay. I just knew that it was etched in stone.
Yeah.
And so I think we all kind of get that moment, whether we go sit down to like a cork and canvas type of thing, and you start painting, and you're like, oh my gosh, I love this so much. I love this so much more than I thought I ever could.
Yeah, right.
And so you get those little breadcrumbs. And so I say we follow it. I say you start opening for me. Now
and that's so great about Anna, is that she let me do that for her. And so when we went Alabama, I mean, I was a MC. I mean, I had those women.
I let her MC.
Oh.
And you made them do musical chair. It was about, 300 women.
It was a huge
mom prom. Mom prom. Hundreds of women. You had them, one of my most hilarious, she had them dump out their purse to talk about who has the craziest thing in their purse.
We found a woman with handcuffs. Anyway, we just had a lot of fun. And we're just helping each other.
I did. I gave her a lot of reign to do whatever she wanted with zero experience. I did have to a couple times. I was like, listen, Amber, I can get canceled. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that you're not going to do anything inappropriate, but please,
sometimes
God,
when we're just in private, our mouths get a little loose
because
we're safe.
We want to go so outrageous to make the other person laugh. And I was like, listen, my career is budding right now, and I'm going to need to make sure we don't cross any boundaries.
Yeah, yeah.
She hasn't. She's done a fantastic job ever since. Yeah. We're going to actually I'm going to have you MC again at the Steyerville's event, and we'll throw some books at people and have them. Maybe we won't make them do musical chairs like last time.
No, it depends on. There was a huge space with lots of room. It was like a wedding reception hall.
But we should do the purse thing.
Yeah,
and then they get a free book.
That was
I'll
fun.
throw a book at them. Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
We just like to have fun. And so I did some of the lives with Anna, and it was just a blast. I just loved it. She's exhausted, tired, writing, doing the videos. And I was like, Anna, we got to do another live. We got to get up here. And then I would have people that were friends with me that were or even a couple gals, that I'm friends with, but I hadn't talked to in such a long time, reach out to me. And then I was like, yes.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing. So we just sort of our friendship, our foundation of our friendship was fun. And that's where we're just, we were talking about that the other day about our friendships and how.
I was talking about how I had a friend where the foundation of our friendship was in our shared faith. And we had prayed together. Our faith is where our friendship started.
Yeah.
Our common bond. And then a couple years ago, she went through a very difficult time and shared with me that she was an atheist. And so I was kind of lamenting that I was having a really hard time readjusting to the friendship. She hadn't changed. My love for her hadn't changed. She was still the same funny, vibrant person I've always loved. But it was like the foundation fell through.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, it was like I don't know how to now create a new foundation with her. And you had brought up something that you had read, which is if you wanted to share that.
Yeah, I had read that when we look at all of our relationships and our friendships specifically outside of our family or what we consider to be family, is that however they are founded is kind of how they continue to grow.
Yeah.
And so if there is a big change in that, it really does become hard work to switch. So I really sat back and thought about all of my friendships, and it was so true. And so, if you are...
Every time you see that person, you guys are drinking until you get drunk.
Right.
It'll be very hard to hang out
It'll
with
be hard to hang out
like,
without drinking.
Yeah.
Or if it's based on gossip. And it doesn't always have to be a bad thing, maybe shopping or whatever it is that when you initially meet that person and kind of decide that you want to be, that's just how it goes. And I think about that, a really close friend of mine. We went to high school together, and we are often finding ourselves going back and talking about people that we went to high school with and what they're up to. And, your relationships can be more dynamic than that, but it's really still the foundation.
Yeah. And so then we started reflecting. We're like, well, what are we rooted in? And we realized that we were rooted in optimal fun.
Excessive amounts of fun.
Excessive amounts of fun. Whenever Amber and I were together, it was excessive amounts of fun. We made a memory.
Can I say balls? Balls to the wall.
It
fun.
was balls to the wall.
Yeah.
Fun. I mean, tanking, which in these like Poketown, Nebraska rivers, where you're in a horse tank that has a picnic table in it that goes for 8 hours, and getting stopped by cows. Remember there were cows blocking our way once, and we were like nervous, like shoo cow, shoo.
Yeah.
Like crazy stories with Brady, where every time we got together, we're like, how do we turn this up 18,000 notches? And we're like that now with our own kids. We're
still like that now. And we don't ever drink. We don't, but we are still like, we're going to get those 44 OZs from the gas station, some gummy bears, and watch 1,000-Pound Sisters.
Yeah.
Optimal fun.
Yeah, and then Amber's like, she goes, hey, why don't you bring the girls over and I'll watch them? They can have a sleepover with my kids. And I was like, fantastic. And she's like, and why don't you sleep over too? And I remember the first time she brought that up, I was like, say what?
It sounds weird, but...
Because I like my bed. I'm an adult woman. I have a sleep number that is at a very specific number.
Yes.
The comfort is next level. And I go, where am I sleeping? Like, am I sleeping on a couch like I'm 21 again? And you're like, well, you can, but I've got a guest room. It's really cozy. The first time I spent the night 2 nights. I had to text my husband, baby, can I spend the night one more night?
It's just optimal fun. The first time my best friend, Steph, our kids were little, and I think her husband was like out of town for a meeting or something. And she was like, do you guys want to, why don't you come over with the kids? And then we can just, have a sleepover or something. And I remember thinking the first time, like, okay, fun, but like, can we do that?
Yeah.
As an adult, can I do that? And she is the one who introduced me to it, and I just fell in love. And so every once in a while, if her husband's out of town, we try to reconnect and do that because it's so fun. But now, I asked Anna, and I was like, listen, grown-up sleepovers are a blast.
Yeah. Now my girls won't probably sleep over here without me. That's the only bummer. Because one time wanted to
Well, I did have them one time without you. You guys were... I bet they could. I mean, they might be a little sad. You just get out the door and they'll be fine.
They're a little bit more comfortable knowing that I'm downstairs somewhere. But
sure.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, it's optimal fun whenever we get together. And this podcast is going to be...
optimal fun.
Optimal.
We just wanted to continue it on, so...
Yeah, like we're going to party.
You can thank us later, guys. You can
thank us later. What's our time? How long have we been going?
40 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad. Because you know what? I wanted to talk about something. I want to go back to being unfollowed. Now, in my book, in the chapter Unfollowed, and this is in We'll Laugh About This Someday, my first book, I talk about how I gave birth to Lucy. Was it Lucy or Poppy? I think it was Lucy.
Lucy.
And I was noticing, I posted a picture of her. And, you know, listen, if there's ever going to be social media gold, it is a birth announcement. I mean, if you live off of likes, okay?
Have a baby. Have a baby.
Have babies. Because even the meanest curmudgeon is going to slap a like on that, okay?
Yeah.
Your enemies are going to be like, today alone, I'm going to support her. Slap a like on this bad boy.
Yeah.
So I am enjoying the accolades. No, I've been doing this for so long, and I've been on social media, and I've had a platform and a larger Facebook audience for so long that I have learned to care far less about that metric. I mean, to the point where sometimes I don't care at all. But I'll admit, when something pops off, it feels good, okay?
Yeah.
And so I was sitting there nursing. I think I was eating like fries. My husband went to go get me. You know, that after birth eating.
Mm-hmm.
So hits so good. And I was checking my Facebook, and I started to notice that this portion of women, I met in the early stages of blogging, I met and became friends with these blogging women. And turns out the vast majority of them were not quite well. I mean, it was just gross, catty stuff. And they were kind of like a team. So if one person, you had a falling out with one of them, it was like high school mean girls crap where they all fall out with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and when you are an adult, you just cannot believe that those horrific feelings you had at 16 are following you into adulthood. I mean, it's like, I can't believe that this is still a thing where we all tribe together, leave people out.
Yeah.
And I noticed that some of those women were not engaging or liking it at all. And so then I went to go look and see, you know, just clicked on their profile to see, well, maybe they hadn't posted in a while. By the way, I have a newborn baby nursing at my breast. And this is the insanity that I better go check her profile. Maybe she's just not on at all. I am caring about I don't even like her. In fact, I was darn near afraid of her because she had mental health issues. She was like a pathological liar to a very pathological liars scare you because you can't even believe they have the audacity. You know when someone says a lie that's easily provable, it scares you because you're like, oh God.
Which we'll have to talk about this a later time. Anna unintentionally lies to me all the time, and I take her information as facts, and I spread the word.
I wouldn't say all the time.
Not all the time.
But I will say that
okay, 3 times. 3 times, not all the time.
I speak with confidence, and Amber believes me. She trusts me. And there's been a few times that I have said, one of the worst ones was, did you know that the average American family spends $10,000 on Christmas? She's like, oh my God, that's insane. She tells her husband, he's like, man, I believe it. But then I sat there and I thought about it.
And then I did too. And then I was like, gosh, well, maybe I thought we were overdoing it with our budget. And then I thought, well, maybe we're not doing enough.
Well, I started to think about it and I was like, that can't be. Because even like the vast majority of like lower income or lower middle class can't even charge that on a credit card. So then I looked it up and it was actually $1,000. So Amber had already told probably 30 people.
Yeah.
And I came back and I was like, listen, I gotta tell you, it wasn't 10,000. It was just 1,000. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So sometimes you get it wrong. But so here I am looking to see if I got unfollowed by her. I call my mom. My mom calls to check up on me. I'm in the hospital.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, how's it going? And I burst into tears
Aww.
about these people. All of them had unfriended me. Not just unfollowed. They had unfriended me.
Yeah.
And I knew it because they hadn't liked the picture.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, Anna, who gives a crap? I mean, my mom was she wasn't disgusted. She had compassion, but she wanted to shake me out of this insanity.
Yeah.
You are holding your brand new baby. You had 3 miscarriages before her. This is a joyous day. Those people are idiots. Who cares, right? I'm sitting there sniffling and rocking her to sleep and just kind of laying there and daydreaming. I get off the phone with my mom. And my mind starts to go back to when I was nesting. Okay, so I was waiting for Lucy and I was nesting. And I started to like get rid of stuff. I was getting rid of crap out of drawers. I was just cleaning house.
Yeah, I miss that nesting. That gives you some motivation.
And I did the same thing with social media. And I gave myself a rule. If you have not engaged with me in a year, I'm going to unfriend you. Not to be mean, but we have no relationship. And at that time, I was getting kind of famous because of the fart story, and I was sort of getting well known, and I was having people reach out. I was just being protective.
Yeah.
People who don't know me well do not need access to my personal profile.
Sure,
right?
sure.
And so if you hadn't interacted with me for a year, I unfriended you. I unfriended everybody. Just clean house. Just doop, 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 unfriended everybody. Amber, they hadn't unfriended me. I unfriended them.
I don't know that I knew that story.
Yeah, because you didn't read my book.
Oh, my God. That's another funny thing. It's in the book that you unfriended them.
It's in the book. And by the way, I won't give you guys any more teasers. But yeah. So Amber and I have been talking about... No, she doesn't read any of my stuff at all. Like one time she read one of my newsletters. She's like, dang, you're a good writer. I'm like,
well, I think because I already know all the stories. I know her. I don't think I need to.
My husband doesn't read my stuff either. None of my closest friends or family read. But we were talking about how like that chick from church unfriended you and that sick feeling you get where you're like, you know what? You don't unfriend me. I unfriend you.
Yeah, if anybody's unfriending anybody here, I'm getting rid of you.
Yeah.
But then your mind goes like, well, what
did I do?
What did I do? Have I said something?
Is it my laugh?
Is it very well could be. She's like, I don't like the way that you laugh. You're too loud. And
what about ghosting though? What about friend ghosting? I have a situation where I was very, very close with someone, and I actually know where the ghosting is coming from, but we had a terse exchange. I was put in the worst position. I had information that she was not privy to, that if I shared with her the truth, it would hurt her feelings very badly. So I protected her from it. But because I was protecting her from this information, she thought it was my fault. She was believing something that wasn't true.
Okay.
And so I was really put in a tough position where I'm like, if I tell you the truth, you're going to be devastated. But you're kind of blaming me for something I have nothing to do with. And without me going into details, I know that that's weird, but I was put in that position. And then at one point, I had had enough. And I didn't tell her everything, but I said enough. I was like, stop it. It's not me. This is what happened. And I didn't tell her the whole thing, but I told her just enough. And she hasn't talked to me since. And it wasn't a horrible interaction. And we were so close, like really close as you and I are. I never thought in a million years that wasn't something that could be reconciled, that wasn't something that would be like, hey, that hurt my feelings. We need to talk, because I thought we had that kind of friendship. Has not talked to me since. And it was such a shock. But you were talking about how you've had friends that you were super close to. You didn't even have an interaction like that, and it was over.
No, I had a family even. It was like the whole family. And our daughters played volleyball together and, all through high school. And we just became very close. And she had 3 kids. Her youngest was the girl that was friends with Mackenzie, my daughter. And they were the best of friends. They just did everything together. We would have them over for dinner. We would just do different things. They would take Mackenzie on trips and we would carpool together, and I loved them. Like they felt like family to us. And then the girls graduated high school and went off to college, and I reached out. I saw something on Facebook, and it was like a meme or something. It reminded me of her. And so I went to tag her in it, and I couldn't.
Yeah.
And so then I looked her up, and we weren't friends. And I was like, what? And so I messaged her, and I was just like, hey, Well,
Facebook glitch.
Facebook glitch. I was like,
Awkward.
I don't know. Well, actually, before I even messaged her, I asked my daughter. I was like, "Hey, have you heard from Elizabeth lately? Like, have you heard Carol isn't on there?" And and anyway, I had reached out and I was like, "Hey, I don't know what happened, but I love you and I'm sad, and I hope that if there was something that I had done that you would feel comfortable enough to come and talk to me about it, and so that I could either apologize or explain or whatever the case was." And when she didn't reach out to me the first time, and I was just like, "Hey, just checking in to see how you're doing," because she was an empty nester. The girls were off at college, tried to get together and nothing. And I kind of just chalked it up to like maybe she's having a hard time with it. But anyway, she didn't respond, and then a whole year passed, right? And so I let it go. I would pop into my mind, and I would be sad about it. And then a whole year passed and I reached out again. I was like, "Hey, it's a new year. I just want to let you know that I still think about you and I feel really sorry. Sorry that you didn't feel comfortable to reach out to me, but also sorry that you feel like our friendship was so easily disposable, because
Yeah.
that's not how I felt about you." And then I let it be. And it sucks. It so sucks, because especially you don't know, like, what did I do?
Yeah.
You know?
I am adamantly against ghosting people like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm rough.
It's torture.
It is cowardly, and it is cruel
It's cruel
to the other person.
Yeah, it really
I
is.
say you sack up, and if you're going to end that friendship, that you just let them know.
Yeah.
If you got to be rough, be rough. I don't care. Because it is worse to be indifferent towards someone
Yeah.
than it is to be mean. I think you would have rathered her say, "Hey, there's some stuff that really annoyed me about you, and you got on my nerves."
Yeah.
You'd cry about it for a day. Then you and I would laugh about it.
We would laugh
really
about it
hard.
real hard.
Now you're left wondering, what the heck did I do? What happened? You're not, that friendship isn't even that precious to you anymore, but it still bothers you.
Right, because you don't know.
And when that person reaches out to you and you still can't be you can even be nice.
And the worst
say,
thing
"You
about
know what?"
Facebook is you can tell when they read it, right? Because then that little face
read
pops
receipt.
up.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
And you can just say to them, "You know what? I don't want to hurt your feelings. I don't have the capacity for another friendship, and I wish you well." You don't even have to be mean about it. That still will sting the other person.
Yeah.
There is such a cowardliness. I don't know if it's this generation or maybe it's been every generation.
Well, I will say, she probably had 15 years on me, because
Yeah.
I was a young mom. Anyway, I had Mackenzie when I was
Even
17,
worse.
and
Even worse.
well, right, and she was a late mom. I think having her first when she was almost 40.
Yeah.
So there was a bit, and even with the age difference, though, we still got it. I mean, it was real bizarre.
No,
Gosh, why you got to bring that up?
I
Now I'm
know.
all sitting
Now we
here
got
thinking
hurt
about
feelings.
it,
Now we got hurt
angry.
feelings. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that it is. I think that it is such a cruel thing to do to people. I think unfriending is such a kick in the crotch. Just unfollow them. Come on.
Well, even if I felt like I didn't really care for somebody anymore, which
Although,
has happened.
I was the unfriender. But I do, I
don't unfriend, though. And it's more selfishly because
you don't know
what
how.
Well, how about that? I don't know nothing about technology.
You are like a grandma when it comes to technology.
I think that's why
worse.
I hate it. I was like, can I just write a check and send it to the school for lunch?
Yeah.
We were at church yesterday, and they're doing a fundraiser for Egg My Yard for the kids ministry, and or for the older Arise kids. And I just I was like, can I just write a check and sign my name up?
Yeah, don't make me.
No, you have to go online and fill out a form.
For this podcast, Amber and I were going to talk about something that was really funny that just kind of went viral again on my page, because it's a really hilarious topic. And so, Amber, both of our phones are recording, which, by the way, you can watch us on YouTube. Okay, I'll give you a link later. And she had to log into Facebook, couldn't. So it was like, log in. She's like, "Sorry, Anna, we can't read that post because
I don't know my login. It's saved on my phone. I just hate it all. But
you've got other friends, though. I mean, it's like that there is a cruelty. Imagine how it feels for us as women who are late 30s, early 40s, 50s. It hurts our mothers, I'm sure. And imagine what our teenagers go through. This is why I don't think I want my girls to have social media at all until they're 18. And then they're old enough to, it's still going to hurt like heck, but it's not going to destroy their soul like it does when you're 14. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
My
rough.
God, I remember when I was 14 years old, my friends would hang out, like if they hung out without me, nothing was worse.
But
Nothing.
you didn't know over the weekend. All you knew is you heard about it Monday morning.
Well, I'd make
At
some
school.
phone calls. I'd make some phone calls, and like Mrs. Hammerland would be like, "Oh, her and Beth are at the movies."
Yeah,
But
Mom, don't tell everybody who's everybody's with.
Wow. Yeah, brutal. So you were telling me about your hurt feelings about that girl that ghosted you. I just got recently ghosted. Doesn't talk to me anymore. We've got Winnie in here. We specifically told the children they have to go downstairs permanently until we're done. Wins.
Well,
she's just staring at us.
She's
not
just staring
talking.
at us.
That's fine.
Not talking. She's going to go on. It's going to be fine.
So the cruelty of being unfollowed. But whenever that happens, the beauty of it is having a friend like you where we can laugh about it.
Yeah.
I had to tell you to stop throwing pearls to swine because you kept trying. I know. You kept putting yourself out there, although you recently stopped. But I was like, I wish you would have been. I wish you.
I read it to her. She's like, 3 times, Amber. You reached out to her 3 times. I was like, the initial was me just checking in. Twice. I reached out.
Well, pearls to swine. I would have stopped you by the 3rd one. Yeah. Probably the 2nd one. Yeah. You do it once, and here's the deal. Because I'm the kind of person who needs closure, and so because I need closure, I'll have a reoccurring dream about that person until I feel like that has closure. And so I was talking to my mom about it, and I was like, I feel like if I reach out to her again, this is going to be pearls to swine. And it's going to give her an opportunity to ignore me, block me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm really putting myself out there to be hurt again because she's not going to respond with kindness. She hasn't before. Why do I think she's going to do it now?
Yeah.
And my mom was like, then if you're going to do it, then you do it for yourself without any outcome, to give yourself closure.
Right.
If it is the right thing, if you feel like it is the right thing for you to do, to give that friendship closure, because I do feel like I had a responsibility. Like I think I might have been harsher than I needed to be.
Yeah.
I wasn't cruel. I don't really have that bone in my body. But I'm the kind of person who is very, very laughy, jokey, loud, fun, loving. And then when I get serious, it scares people. Like my kids.
Mm-hmm.
The minute I have a serious tone, they're crying because it's so unlike me.
Right.
And I can have that effect on my friends. Like when I get serious, they're like, oh God, what's wrong? I think I was too serious. And so there's things that I want to be clean of and be like, you know what? If I was too rough with you or if I was too harsh, I really apologize. I appreciated our friendship and I just want to thank you for the time we had together as friends. And I have to expect there will not be a return back.
Right.
And then be pleasantly surprised if she wants to open that door again. And then I'm like, nah.
Nope.
You had your chance.
It's like you don't want to be invited to the party, but you do.
Yeah.
And so then like you get an invite after you've asked for one and then you just don't show up.
I need the opportunity to tell you no.
Yeah, I need to be able to tell you no.
How dare you not even invite me in the first place?
Yeah.
So I think number 1, if you're ghosting people right now, stop it. Stop it right now.
It's
Have
so hurtful.
integrity.
It's so hurtful.
We're adults. Gird up your loins. Be tough. Look yourself in the mirror and be like, you can do this. And you don't have to be cruel. You can just say what I just told you. It still hurts. If someone said this to me, it would sting. Like, I just don't have the capacity for a new friendship, but I wish you well. That would sting. But you're not like,
I wish I had the time.
You know what? You're a gossiping bee, and every time I'm around you, I feel bad about myself. Here's the truth. Sometimes people feel bad about themselves when they're around you. You know?
No, that's true.
That is so true. And it's not even like you're a bad person. It's that they are going through something and you are specifically thriving at it at the moment, whether you're thriving in your marriage or you're thriving in your finances, you're thriving in your career, you're thriving with your children. They're going through something and being around you hurts them. And they don't know how to articulate it other than they can't stand to be around you. And they don't want to say to your face, I can't stand to be around you.
Yeah.
So, no more ghosting. Let's stop with the unfriending. Just unfollow. Unfollow is such a harmless maneuver because they don't know that you've unfollowed. Give them a snooze.
There's no way to know unless they stop liking your page. But if they're
no,
unfollowing
then
you,
you're
they've
like,
already stopped liking your.
yeah.
But then also, who cares? Let's just stop looking at the likes. Can we?
Let's stop looking at the likes.
I'm guilty. I terribly hate social media for so many reasons. I gave it up for Lent one year, and it was so wonderful.
Yeah.
But I was like, who liked my picture? Oh, that popular girl from high school. I don't care.
Yeah.
But you can't. But you do.
When I was building up my career, having a large platform is how you got a book deal. And I remember, so I cared not because of my ego, but because if I don't build this, then
you had to.
And I remember my life coach at the time, she just told me, you are not allowed for the next month to look at your likes. Post what you need to post and walk away. And I did. And it was like, once I did that, like my posts were flourishing, but I didn't have that intense, like, please, you have to work.
It's kind of like the cool guy. He's cool because he doesn't care.
Give a crap. It's like the show Wednesday on Netflix.
Yes. Everybody's in love with her, which, by the way, do we need a whole podcast for that show? Because I love that show.
Even Rob was like, I was watching this for you, and this is one of the best
I love her.
we've watched in a while.
I loved the whole thing.
She does not care what people think, so then everybody's into her. Like, Rob did say, though, that all of those guys being that in love with her wasn't very believable. He's like, I mean, I don't know about that. But it does show you.
It makes sense to me.
Oh, I'd be into her.
I am into her.
It would be my mission to be her best friend. I was like, oh, you're hard to get, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's
like
how I want to be.
Chase.
That's what I want to be. I don't want to give a crap if you like me or not. I don't care if you're in line for the Nebraska golf courses book.
Right.
God, please, we're having our own party.
And then also when you stop caring, you also then become more confident in yourself, which then draws people to you.
Exactly.
Right? So it's just like a whole cycle.
Beautiful cycle of just confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, you find your closest friend, closest relative that you trust and love, and then make fun of it.
Yeah.
That's me and Amber's healing therapy.
Yeah,
we just to really brutally make fun of like when she told me she reached out 3 times, like Amber was being real serious. She's like, and then the 3rd time I texted her, I was like, wait.
You're like 3 times?
Wait.
I was like, 3rd time's a charm,
Wait. She ignores you twice.
Yeah.
And you try a 3rd time.
Yeah. I mean, sad.
But we laughed. It was the best therapy. Okay.
Yeah.
Our most hilarious stories is when my stuff flops. Like the fact that we pulled men out of the golf course line. I sold out of books and they had to buy another 20 books from me. He's like, do you have a
25?
He goes, do you have
He
books?
asked for 20. We gave him 25.
Amber was like, you want 25? He was like, I had brought another box and I was like, how many do you need? He's like, we're going to need 20. And Amber's like, you're going to need 25. He's like, no, just 20. She's like, 25? No, just 20. 25? Okay, fine, 25. You really worked him down. His name is Carl.
I should have been in sales, maybe.
Yeah, well, that's why I bring you. I need it. But that could have been, we could have felt so sorry for ourselves.
Which, in turn, is still hilarious.
Yeah. That I got
like, it's almost like you've said this before. Like, I almost want bad stuff to happen
to me because it's so funny later.
Yeah.
And that's what the whole premise of my book is we'll laugh about this someday.
Yeah.
It's like you've got to find the humor in our most humiliating, ridiculous situations. We cannot take ourselves too seriously. Who am I? Who's that person who just ignored me? Ain't nobody.
Can we ask you guys, can you share with us the most embarrassing, humiliating thing that happened to you that you were able to then laugh about?
Yes.
Because honestly, I mean, it really is.
You fell down. I fell down when I was a freshman in college. I was like Mary Tyler Moore coming out of like my first class. I was like, we're gonna do it. Oh, that's Laverne and Shirley. Give us any chance, we'll take it. Okay, I was on top of the world.
Yeah.
And then I fell down the stairs. Boop, 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 boop. In front of, there were students smoking on like both sides. This was like early 2000s when that would be a thing. They were on like both sides of the railing.
What would they be doing now?
Vaping.
Vaping.
Probably. I don't know. Protesting. Okay. And I rolled all the way down and I got up and I go, ta-da. Okay.
What?
And it was such an ugly fall down cement steps that they all looked at me with compassion.
Yeah.
Which, if you know me, I do not want compassion. I want laughs.
Well, if you give somebody compassion, it's like you
It's
feel
really
you
bad.
feel sorry for them.
I don't want you to feel
I don't
sorry
want
for
you
me.
to feel sorry for me.
I want you guffaw laughing. And so I said, ta-da. And when I put my hands up, I did like the jazz hands. My palms were bloody. Okay.
I'm dying right now, just even imagining
My palms
this.
were bloody. And this woman, she was kind of gothy, not total goth, but real dark.
Yeah.
Puts the cigarette out of her lap, out of her mouth. Everybody else is speechless.
Yeah.
With total feeling so sorry. They're like, poor girl, just fell down the stairs in front of us. And now she's bleeding her palms. Takes the cigarette out of her mouth and she goes, oh, hon, are you okay? Okay.
Can you imagine?
And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Amber, I didn't know it at the time, but I had wrecked my ankle. So they saw me limping away. Okay, slowly.
How long of a walk did you have?
Till I was out of their eyesight. 30 minutes. Limping.
Were you alone?
Dragging.
Did you have a friend with you?
I was by myself.
By yourself, even worse.
Dragging my leg behind me with my bloody palms. It was my first day of class as a freshman. And I was like Mary Tyler Moore, we're gonna make it after all. Throwing my hat in the air on top of the world.
Yeah.
Tumbled down the stairs. Because the stairs were really small. And I was expecting a normal stair, but it was like a real tiny, it was like only 2 inches high. And so I was expecting a normal stair, so I just kind of like stepped on the incline. And I tumbled all the way down it with my backpack. I probably landed like, ugh. Yeah.
You had that. Do you remember the grape lady?
I would have needed you there peeing your pants. First, you would have needed, like, if you were like laughing so hard you peed your pants, then I would have laughed.
I just did, actually.
Yeah,
I think I just did, like, imagining it.
That's what you need. You need somebody to help you laugh it off. And some things, when you're all by yourself, you're going to have to go cry about it. I remember I was cussing. I was like Yosemite Sam. I was like, frickity, 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 frickity. I mean, because I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
You're like, how is this happening to me?
Oh, hon, are you okay? After I go,
gosh.
ta-da!
So, oh my gosh.
With my palms up and my palms were bloody. Could you imagine? I would have felt sorry for me. I wouldn't have laughed. I mean, I would have laughed a little bit at the ta-da.
I would have laughed at the ta-da, but I mostly would have been laughing at you limping away.
30-minute. The pathway was probably a mile long. So like there was a trajectory of watching me drag my leg behind me. It was probably 30 minutes that they just sat there, just watching me go with my bloody palms. Yeah. Yeah.
Sad.
We got to help each other laugh when people ghost us and friend us, treat us bad. We got to laugh about it.
When we fall.
We got to pep each other up. Who is that? Idiot. Idiot. That's what my mom always does when somebody hurts my feelings. Idiot.
I like it.
Yeah. Well, that idiot.
They don't know nothing.
Moron. They don't know anything. What else do you need other than a good friend to laugh with?
You
There's nothing in the world you need more than that.
I think the most recent thing I can think of, and it's so funny, and I'm only bringing this up again because my mother-in-law just posted it yesterday, is this picture of me. And my mother-in-law, I love
She did it again.
Her. Oh,
she
did it again? I need to share it with you. Yeah, well, my phone with the recording. Yeah, she shared it again, and it says, like, such fond memories. I had just given birth to my last child, Winsley. And the thing about me is, one, I'm heavier set anyway, and then put pregnant weight on me. And then when I am pregnant, my body wants to hold on to every bit of water that it can.
You do. Like, you actually have, like, it has a name for what happens to you.
And actually, it's concerning to the doctors. Like every single pregnancy,
she's like a Tempur-Pedic mattress. You put your hand in it,
and
and
the
the imprint stands there.
It feels like needles. The doctors are always every single time is so annoying. They go Doppler my legs, check my heart. Everything's fine. I retain water in a way that I can't even explain.
Yeah.
I can't bend my legs.
Yeah.
And I am sitting on the couch in this purple shirt.
Yeah.
And I look so sad and terrible. I look terrible. I'm tired. I just had a baby. I'm still, and then I don't want to take the diuretic, right? Because I'm breastfeeding.
Yeah.
So then there's like all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the worst picture I've ever seen of myself. And I've seen some pretty bad ones. I'm the kind of person, I have confidence I don't deserve. Like I walk around feeling hot. Like everybody's turning their heads looking at me. I'm feeling comfortable. That's not what I'm rocking with. But for whatever reason, I'm happy to have it. I'm confident. I have felt so hot in pictures before. And then I go back and I look and I'm like, oh, it's sad.
Because we were talking about this because I said, the worst thing that you can do to your friend who believes they look bad in a photo is say,
you look fine.
This is what you always look like.
You can't say that.
You can't say that. You need to say, oh, girl, this is the worst picture of you I have ever seen. This lighting is terrible. Because they don't want it.
They don't want your pity. They don't want your sympathy.
It's not just the pity, but you are telling them this is what you look like.
Yeah, and I know that ain't.
You need to tell me this is not what I look like. Okay, the camera just added 15 pounds. No, your arm does not look like a ham. Okay, like a big old round ham. No, this is just the positioning. No, stop. That's what you need from your friends.
Yes.
If you think you're helping them by being like, oh, girl, please. No, you look fine. You always look this way.
You can't do that. It's rude.
No.
It's mean.
Even if you believe that, lie to them.
Lie.
So this is when Amber brought this up, that her mother-in-law keeps posting this picture of Amber that is one of the worst pictures that Amber has ever seen. And she keeps doing it like on daughter-in-law day or
made up
day.
Like Happy National Taco Day. I love my daughter-in-law. Like, I don't know what these days are, but she's posting it. And I don't even tell her to take it down. And listen, I absolutely love her. And I know that all she sees is her Nebraska family together. And they live in Oregon. And she's just in love, right? Yeah. What I see is Grimace from McDonald's.
So Amber goes, I'm wearing a purple shirt and I look like Grimace. And I think to myself, you remember Grimace from McDonald's? He's that like big purple blob.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking she's exaggerating. She showed me the picture. I screamed. I blacked out. Nobody has ever looked more like Grimace in their life, number one. Okay?
I mean, it was identical.
Your boobs were so big.
My boobs and my whole body.
Had no bra on. And so your boobs were,
one of them was
on the right and
one
was on the left.
One of them was running around to my back. It was trying to get away from I don't know what it was. It wasn't.
Your nipples were also hard. And that's how you knew. You could see that they were headed towards your back.
It was not good.
Hard nipples wrapped around your body headed towards the back. Okay?
And she just.
And the look on your face, you look miserable.
I was in pain. You rubbed up against me and it was like you were cutting my skin with a knife. And I was telling Anna about this, and I was heading to Omaha, and I was going through the Scooters drive-through to get a coffee, and I remember we were just laughing so hard about it. And the Scooters girls, they're always so sweet, and they're like,
which is like a local Starbucks.
Yeah, local Starbucks, and I was laughing, and I showed it to her. And I was like, I'm sorry, we're just laughing hysterically at this picture of me. I show it to her, and she started to give me the, and I said, stop there.
You don't look bad.
I told her, I was like, don't you dare tell me that this is what I look like. It isn't. I know it isn't. Just laugh.
Then you had friends who heard us talk about this before, and they were like, I wish you wouldn't talk bad about yourself. Here's the deal. There is a difference. She's going to think it. number one, we have to live in
Yeah.
reality.
Yeah.
If we see a picture of ourselves that doesn't even look like us,
Yeah.
we're not going to be like, I'm bold and beautiful. Our brains don't put up, we can talk positive, but our brain knows it's going to be behind your head.
Yeah.
This is the worst thing I've ever seen. I'm going to bury this in the ground before I let anybody see this photo of me.
Yeah.
So we got to live in reality. And we have to have the confidence to say, this photo of me is a moment in time that is not reality. It is so bad that we have to laugh about it. You have with your closest friends. There's a picture of my mom. I call it Amish Nani. My girls call her Nani. She looks Amish. You can't even explain what's so funny about it. Because my mom was like, I don't know why this photo is so funny, but I can't stop laughing. She has like one big tendril. My mom has kind of curlier hair, but it's thinner. Two big tendrils in the back. And she looks disenfranchised, distant, forlorn, and Amish. And I cannot explain to you why it's so funny, but I scream laugh every time I see it.
Yeah.
One of the worst pictures ever. In this really weird way that you can't put your finger on.
Yeah.
And I think it's because her friend Sharon looks stunning. Okay?
Sure.
Both Sharon and my mom are equally beautiful. Sharon is one of the best pictures I think I've ever seen of Sharon in my life.
Yeah.
And my mom looks like she's on the back of a trailer, not a trailer, like what did they, on the Pioneer days, a wagon. My mom looks like she's in the back of a wagon churning butter. She's the grandma in the back. And it is so funny. Here's the other tragedy, though. When a picture is the best picture of you that you've ever seen, but your friend looks like garbage. It's torn.
That's tough. It's you're torn.
Because you're like, what do I do? Because I look so good.
Post it anyway.
Well, it's a bad maneuver. You looking all hot. I got 3 triple chins. Dead to me. You post a picture. My sister used to do that, looking all hot. There's a picture my sister used to have on the fridge where she looked gorgeous. And her child is crying. And his face is so distorted that he looks like something is really seriously wrong with him.
Yeah.
And that is a picture that she blew up to a 5x7 and put on her fridge. Every time I saw it, I would scream laughing because she thinks she looks good. She doesn't care that her kid, he looks like somebody stabbed him in the butt. I mean, it was like he's like arching his back, screaming.
Yeah.
She looked so good.
Yeah.
She blew it up to a 5x7. She's like, you know what? I'm going to don't give me no 4x6.
No.
Oh, 5x7. Upgrade.
Yeah.
I look so good. Oh, yeah. Listen, we got to laugh about it. We got to live in reality. You see your friend struggling. Don't be like, I don't like this. I like positivity. To me, I get confidence when you're like, you laugh at this picture. You're like, girl, you don't look like that. Number one. You're gorgeous. This is not what you look like.
Right.
But if you do feel like you want to make some changes, I'm here for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
If you want to start wearing a bra, I support you. Because in this braless photo, it ain't working.
It's not working.
Support, love, affirm, but also let them know like we're living in reality. Because when everybody tries to pretend, it just doesn't work. We just, oh, no.
That's what makes us end up feeling bad about ourselves.
Secretly, and then you don't share it with anybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, God, we could go on forever. We can't go on forever.
We can't. We're like 20. This is our first one. It's a little bit long. It's all right.
We're going to go as long as we need to.
We will.
You know what? Look, they're still cleaning. I guarantee you somebody right now has continued to clean because this podcast isn't over.
Let's keep going.
So anyway, you can thank us.
Yeah.
Okay? You guys, we are so happy and so privileged that you listened to Amber and I today. If you would like to, first of all, please subscribe to the podcast. And if you enjoyed it, we would love if you gave us 5 stars. I'm not going to tell you to give us 5 stars. If you want to give us 1, that's fine. I'd rather you not. Okay? If you've got, listen, just hit 5. What's it hurt?
What's it hurt?
Okay?
What's it doing nothing for you?
Yeah. Listen, if you just want to give it 5, I just say give it a day to think about it.
Sometimes
if you think we're annoying and stupid and you hate
here's the thing. This is our first one too. So like things generally get better as they go.
Yeah.
They say you should watch a show for 3 episodes before you say no.
So if you want to give us, if you're tempted to give us 1 to 3 stars, for instance, Amber's mic is a little bit louder than mine, I can tell. Like, let's say that's annoying you, and or you don't like anything Amber and I said. Amber's looking at me like, is it?
Wait,
Look at your knob. It's up, and you're louder.
Yeah, but do you hear?
I hear it louder.
Oh, because I'm 1.
Told you.
Usually you're the first.
Now we ruined that. Look,
Well,
you've
now
ruined the whole podcast.
Oh,
Now we have to start over
great.
from scratch.
No.
My point is,
What if I didn't hit record? Oh Lord, she
Shut
just
up.
looked. She just
I
looked
just
at
looked
it.
at the button. If you're tempted to give us a 1 to 3, we're just
Yeah.
going to ask you to sleep on it.
Yeah.
If you want to give us a 4 or 5, go ahead, please slap a 5. And listen, you guys, if you would like to get a copy of my best-selling book, we'll laugh about this someday, and my actual favorite book, which is I'm Not Ready for This, go to annalindthomas.com. You can order there either from your favorite store, or you can order one from me and get it signed. You'll see the options there. And also, I write weekly. I would love for you to subscribe at the I'm Doing My Best Substack, okay, where you're going to get weekly, if I remember, or I can, or I'm not spending the night at Amber's house, essays, okay?
Yeah.
Hilarious essays and updates. That's annalindthomas.substack.com. We're going to see you there. I told Amber she's on her own. I go, girl, if you want a page or something, no, I think you're just going to ride on my coattails, aren't you?
I'm riding on your coattails.
Get on them, girl. Get on them and ride out.
And I don't know nothing about that computer.
No.
Although I can rub.
She doesn't know how to edit. And you know how to rub some keys.
I can rub some keys. I don't know where
That didn't work.
at.
That didn't work. Oh, there.
Uh,
Little too loud, blowing people's speakers. See,
Sorry, I
she's bad
won't
at
do
it.
that again.
Yeah. So, guys, so happy to be with you today. We're going to see you next time. And this is the part where me and Amber say goodbye.
Bye.
That was creepy, but it's fine.
We'll do better next time.